Alright, so let's continue. In this video, we're going to pick off where we left off. We're going to create sort of like a synthetic skin that we can kind of use to create, to maybe do some decorative neck tattoo to kind of show she's wearing sort of like a fake skin. So we're going to create sort of like a synthetic underskin that kind of goes through in this one. We're going to show you how we apply that. So with that said, where we last left off, we put some rings around here and kind of just did some basics on the eyebrows. We didn't do too much. We just kind of wanted to establish sort of like a mask on there for now. So we're going to go ahead and just get started. We have cobalt damage. I'm going to rename that ring, which is for the earrings here. And I'm just going to create a folder and I'm going to call this synthetic skin. And let's just go ahead and get started. I'll start with a base of something like, yeah, we'll try the cobalt damage. And then on here, I'm going to probably create maybe like a hex of all of this. So let's create a fill layer that's going to cut in this hex fill layers. This fill layer is going to have a hex pattern on it, and it's going to kind of overlay on top of everything. So let's see what we can do. Maybe color. Not entirely sure I want color just yet. We'll just do height and roughness. Alright, so add add fill layer, because I want it to affect everything that's just on the fill layer. I don't need a mask necessarily for this one because the mask will be driven through the folder. And let's see, for now, just now, I'm going to work with height and roughness. And let's see if we can use a procedural to kind of make that look fun, because that's where we'll plug it in. Oh, sorry, not height and roughness, I'm sorry, rough and metal. That's wrong. Alright, so let's go there. Then do something for metal. Looks good enough for me. Let's just go ahead and scale that in, maybe. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to name this dots. And let's see if we can... well, I'm going to do some experimenting here. Let's first off invert the parameters just to see what that looks like. That kind of looks interesting. Let's see if we can create anything out of that. You can kind of see things somewhat interesting off of that. I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to turn off the fill on it and turn off the height, and let's make that roughness just a little bit lower. And let's go through the roughness channel and maybe just kind of look around something like that, just to kind of work with a little bit of a synthetic texture. Kind of gives it a little bit brighter of a look when I do that. Let's now, I said experiment, so let's invert the parameters and see if that kind of gives us, that's a little bit overly noisy. I'm not too sure if I want to go with that. It's kind of nice, but again, a little too noisy for my taste. Might need, oh yeah, that's right, we got a fill layer on here. That's driving everything. Something like that might actually be a little bit easier. If we need to, we can kind of raise everything up a little bit more. Maybe something like that would work. Just for now. So what I'm doing here is the roughness film. I'm driving roughness now through here because I've lost control of roughness and metal. in my dot section because I added a fill layer to procedurally generate it. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to have to work with creating two separate channels here. So I'm going to go through fill layer. I'm just going to do the same thing, metal, film, well, just to make it look a little bit nicer. For now, let's go ahead and it's got a little bit of what I want. Now I feel like I need to invert something back just so I can get something, because I'm kind of losing the dots a little bit. So let's do some experimenting. Let's flip the parameters in our dots so we can see it a little bit better. A little bit. It's kind of just me kind of experimenting with everything here. I kind of like that, but I feel like if we get a better contrast when we take the metal channel out, we can kind of see a little bit more on there. That's actually kind of a nice one. I wonder if I could just simply work with the roughness that kind of goes over everything. It's not too bad. Truth be told, I think I like that one a lot more. This one's kind of interesting because it has two different scales applied. The roughness specularity of it from here is of a different scale than the roughness specularity of the fill layer here. So you get kind of like a different kind of look here, which is kind of cool of an effect. And I'll have to remember that in the process when doing this again. Like how I can make something look a little bit different and more interesting, because it is kind of a neat look, neat little effect here. Wish there would be a way we could just kind of go through, maybe just increase the roughness value. That's kind of a neat look, I think. It kind of has like a little bit of roughness in certain areas. All right. So I kind of like that. So what I did was Cobalt Smart Material, fill. I put in roughness material to have the same hexagon pattern. Important to remember where the scale is. It's at a different place from the duplicated mesh, so I duplicated the next one. It was just a roughness channel, same thing. But this time around, the scale is of a different area. That's why you're getting different looks of specularity going on here. Just kind of gives it a little bit of a different sheen. So, you know, you can kind of feel free to, you know, mess around with different sort of looks there. The metal film, I tried doing a little experimenting with that. That didn't go out very well, but I think I'll still work with a height factor on here that way and turn it all the way low. That way when I now add a black mask to the folder, I can now just paint in a little bit of a specularity map that you see that kind of underlays underneath all of this, which is kind of cool. It's something that I would say please continue to overlay more if you want onto. You can add more to it than just what I did. If you want, you can add another smart material and just experiment to see what it is. Like, what is, you know, if I type in, if I kind of mask in some of this stuff, what does latex black look like in all of this? If you then set the roughness, right now you can't see anything, but if you kind of take down the roughness, you kind of have a cool looking effect right here. But now what if we also add in like the base color to be different, and we either overlay or set it to multiply? It doesn't seem to do very much, but I'd probably say, you know, experiment to find out different blend modes to work with here. You know, same thing goes with metallic channel. That's another channel we worked with on all of this. Feel free to go through and just kind of work with trying to find fun looking textures out of all this. You know, you can do that, and that would be kind of fun. You know, just kind of bringing out like a synthetic texture in all of this would be kind of neat. But for now, as it is, I may just put a pause on the black mask and just worry just about this. And what I'll do is just sort of decal out some of the neck with what we've made, and we'll see if we can maybe do some texturing around the eye socket, and see if we can do a little bit of texturing that's around the border of the detachable face. So let's go ahead and we'll do that next. So stick around and stay tuned.